just a way of saying, because everything is made out of atoms, but it looks all different, but it's all still made out of atoms. If you split everything up again and again, it will turn into looks like atoms.
You're not meant to get any smaller than atoms because everything's made out of atoms, and in between the atoms there's just space.
Democritus said something like this: there must be something that cannot be divided, or it would go on forever, and that is absurd. The thing that cannot be divided is called an atom. And Democritus was the first person to use the word atom.
So, you know how people say that, I thought that no one had split the atom yet, but apparently they have.
Well,
the atom isn't actually, the thing that they split isn't actually the atom.
Well, that's a very interesting response.
Technically, if they did split an atom, then that means Democritus is wrong. But it doesn't mean, just because they found something that's really small and split it, it doesn't mean that it is an atom.
Right.
Because maybe they found something that's a bit bigger than an atom or something smaller.
Right.
They don't, like Lucian said, they don't have proof.
The smallest physical thing, but surely energy must be made of something. That might be like matter, because even gas and things are made of atoms, which is physical and makes something that you can like pass your hand through. Maybe there's like something smaller than the atom which can't be divided because it's actually not really physical. And
So something that's smaller but not even physical.
yeah, I don't know.
That's interesting.
There's one thing that goes on for time, and can that be split?
No.
That's an interesting thing.
It can be, some people, like ours, it isn't split, it's just people say that it's basically a way of measuring it, but you can't divide it.
But it's a thing that can go on forever.
So time is a thing that can go on forever.
And it
Is that
can't
the
be
same
divided.
sort of stuff that we're talking about?
Well, stuff, as we said, is something, and time is.
So does that mean, because the question was, what's everything made of? Do you think that everything is made of time?
No.
Kind of.
How do you mean? It's an interesting idea.
Well, without time, then everything wouldn't work. Because the Earth wouldn't rotate around the sun wouldn't release heat, everything would be, well, nothing would actually be there.
So without time, there wouldn't be anything.
Nothing but space. Because time creates things. Because over time things change. But I know that if you go back really early, so a very long time ago, then nothing's actually happened. Then there would be nothing. But there's always something. But I know you wouldn't last before and then nothing. But
I think everything makes time. So not time makes everything. I think everything makes time.
Oh, okay. So time is made out of everything, if you like. Is that
Yeah.
where everything makes time?
Yeah.
what time is it?
Different philosophers have had different views about this. And what we're talking about today is a nice big long word you may have heard about, which is connected to this. That's a good question to ask Leibniz.
You could say when two monads collide, they get much bigger and make an atom. But how can things that don't have any stuff,
Physical stuff.
hit anything? Because it's like, people talk about 2 and 1 dimensions, and without 3 dimensions, you can't actually see things, because without any width, because people might say that like an image on a computer screen has no width, but the electricity needs to turn into like make pixel things,
Yeah.
which have to have some width,
So
otherwise you can't see them.
it's a very good question, Felix, that that this is a problem for Leibniz, and this is something that lots of philosophers said to Leibniz when he came up with the idea. They said, how can something which is not physical, that, as you say, hasn't got any stuff, how can that make up something that does have stuff? So, it's a very, very interesting question.
It doesn't have any properties, it can't have, like...
What about Noah's anti-things?
If something has no properties, then I suppose it could be a bit like...
Could it be an anti-thing?
Because
Which is known only by its consequences, which is what Noah said. Can I let Alice come in? Because I have promised Alice to go.
Well, but then an anti-thing would have properties, because it's an anti-thing. A thing. Yeah, but it is a thing, though. It's something that exists, and everything that exists has a property. Like, things that exist might have a property, I mean, like, that don't have a property, that's a property.
Right.
But an anti-thing couldn't be an anti-thing because it's a thing. And it's impossible.
Yeah, I think the only thing that doesn't exist is a thought.
Thought can exist in your mind.
I mean,
Yes, but
thinking of
you're
it,
thinking
otherwise
that's a thought.
because you have to get yeah, something.
Words and phrases are mixing up with me, all designed to hook me in by the way that I feel.